Alright, it's a great day. I welcome you to today's class. I am your philosophy tutor, Oluwatobi David Esan, and I do hope you've been listening and you've enjoyed some of video. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me at any time, not us now. Feel free to reach out to me at any point in time you have your questions. So you can reach out to me on my WhatsApp line 07039587205 or your philosophy tutor at gmail.com. That's my email, your philosophy tutor at gmail.com. So today we'll be discussing concepts, basic concepts in philosophy. Like we have in every discipline, you have concepts that are peculiar to every discipline. For instance, if they mention something like Hippocratic oath, we know it is peculiar to the medical line. If we mention something like bluffing, we know it's peculiar to journalism. If we mention something like whistleblowing, we know it is peculiar to the business world. So also philosophy, like every other discipline and enterprise, have basic concepts that they use. That a student of philosophy or someone who wants to know philosophy one way or the other, you will always meet some of these concepts along the line in your enterprise of philosophy. So now I'll be starting with the concept 1. The first concept is concrete and abstract concept. Concrete and abstract concept. On one hand, concrete concept refers to those expressions which reflect ideas of individual objects or things. When you say concrete, something you can hold, something you can touch. For instance, house, car, man, you can touch it. While abstract concepts are those concepts that you cannot hold physically, but yet they exist. For instance, justice. In philosophy, we discuss the idea of justice, beauty, honesty, whiteness. Those are what we call abstract concepts. Okay, the next one is relative and non-relative concepts. Relative and non-relative concepts. Relative concept refers to those objects where the existence of one object presupposes the existence of another. The existence of one object presupposes the existence of another. For instance, children, parents, high, low, up, down. While non-relative concepts are independent of other external objects. For instance, man, village, car. Now we have the third is positive and negative concepts. Positive concepts are used to describe or affirm the presence of positive concepts are used to describe or affirm the presence of a quality or relation in an object. Positive concepts are used to describe or affirm the presence of a quality or relation in an object. For instance, brilliance, good, literate. While negative concepts simply indicate the absence. Now, negative concept does not mean that thing is bad, but it indicates the absence of a particular quality in what? In an object. For instance, we can say illiterate person, irrational person, or irrational, illiterate. They are what we call negative concepts. We have what we call collective and non-collective concepts. Collective concepts are such concepts that regard to group of homogeneous. When we say homogeneous, similar, the same group of homogeneous objects. For instance, we have team, we have flock, we have herd. You do that in your English language. While we have non-collective concepts are separate objects. For instance, we have plants, we have rivers. Okay, those are just normal concepts. Now, going deeper to the integral concept we use in philosophy, we have perception or sense perception. Perception or sense perception is a concept that refers to the process in which we acquire information using our sense organ. perception or sense perception requires to the process of acquiring information using what? Our sense organ. We have rationality. Rationality implies the process of acquiring information using our reasoning, our thinking faculty. Are you getting my point now? While perception is sense experience, rationality deals with reasoning. We have skepticism or doubt. I have mentioned it in some of our videos. Skepticism means to doubt, to suspend judgment until you are fully sure. So it's a concept we use in philosophy. It's the suspension of judgment until what? You are fully sure. To doubt. Are you getting it? You have the concept of morality. Morality, on the other hand, is etymologically derived from a Latin word which means morally. It means custom or manner. Issues of morality are usually discussed in ethics. Morality deals with how actions should be, the moral ground for actions, the moral basis for what? Actions. That is what? Morality. We have utility. This is a concept that says that something, a belief, an action is useful because it brings the right kind of outcome. Are you getting it? If you've listened to our video on ethical dilemma or some of our videos, you've heard about utilitarianism from the word utility, that maximizing happiness for the greatest number of people. So utility deals with the benefit of something. The benefit of something. What are the benefits we can get from it? We have concepts like duty. The term implies an individual, what an individual owe. When you say what's your duty, it means what you owe someone. What are the things you ought to do? What are the activities you ought to perform? Another concept is the concept of virtue. Virtue is a trait or character that is admired because it makes the possessor better, either morally or intellectually. So when they say someone is a virtuous person, it means that person has some good character in themselves that makes them who they are. So sometimes it might be difficult for us to say a virtuous person acts immorally. Why? Because we believe that they possess some certain character that are inherently good in them, and the possession of those characters technically negate them being able to do otherwise to those inherent nature in them. We have what we call substance and accident. Substance is understood as that which stand beneath, that which exists beneath or hold a thing. Accident are what occur to substance and modify substance in some way. These are concepts we use in metaphysics. So substance is something like a base structure of something. For instance, now I'm trying to think about an example that I can use for substance. Let me say substance is that thing which you hold. Substance is that thing which you hold, while accidents are just like the properties. Let's say a ball now. If a ball is made up of plastic, that plastic is the substance. The color, maybe a blue ball, a yellow ball, those are the accidents. Those things can change, but substance is the real thing, what that thing is. Exactly. I think that's quite better. Then we have materialism. Materialism, the concept is believed that everything, reality is made up of matter, material things that are perishable. Is the belief that reality is made up of material things that are perishable. So that is materialism. Then another concept is the concept of what? Idealism. The concept of idealism is a metaphysical theory. It believes that what exists are first what are basically idea. It shows that ideas are real. Are you getting it now? The theory of idealism says that objects of the external world are ideas in our mind. That okay, whatever we look at, they are first an idea. They are first conceived in our mind. So it implies that ideas are real and they exist. And what we have are not just material entity or destructible entity. We also have ideas. Then in political philosophy, we discuss concepts like the state. You have come across the state. The state is a people organized within a divine territory. that has their sovereignty, and they have legitimate territory, and they have sovereignty and supreme authority over them. That is the state. For instance, the Nigerian state. Nigeria is a state. Are you getting my point? People in a state might not be related by blood. That's the difference between a state and a nation. Okay, nation, you might be related by blood, clan, and the rest. But for a state, you might not be related, but you have what? A sovereign authority, a supreme authority over you, and you have a legitimate territory that you occupy. So Nigeria is a state, not a nation. You get the point now, you get the difference. Then we have concept like democracy. You know, we discussed democracy. Historically, it started in the city of Athens, Greece. So democracy, you know, some define it as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Meanwhile, some have believed that that definition does not really capture the whole essence of democracy. But then, what you see as democracy is just ability for people to be able to have their own say legitimately, to be able to have a representation legitimately and hear their own voice. We have what we call power and what? Authority. We have power and authority. Power consists of using your ability to get what you want, using your ability to get what you want. It might be legitimate, it might not be legitimate. When it is legitimate, it becomes authority. Are you getting it now? When power becomes legitimate, when you have a legal backing to what you are doing, then it becomes authority. But you can use power, you can coerce people. A thief that comes to your house overpowers you and steals your property, that's still power. But when a police comes to arrest someone, it's working on what? Authority. They are making the same degree but working on different what? Concept. We can have what we call de facto authority, whereby you delegate your authority to someone. Okay, yeah, where you delegate your authority to someone is called what? De facto authority. And we also have principle of right and duties. Right and duties. Right are the privileges you enjoy as a result of belonging to a particular society or association, state, or nation. What are the privileges? What are your dues? While duties are what are your own contribution, what are expected of you to be done as a quota or a contribution to that place you belong or that place you associate with. While sovereignty is derived from a Latin word, it means supremacy. It means what? Supremacy. When you have a supreme authority over a place, over a people, or over a particular geographical area, when you can make your decision without external influence, that is what we call sovereignty. So those are the basic concepts we use in philosophy. You can always read more on them. They are just a general concept that we can find around on a day-to-day basis. So that will be all for today's teaching. Do enjoy your day. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me. Oluwatobi David Eson is my name. I am your philosophy tutor. Thank you and have a lovely day.